Hey guys, welcome back to Meraki V Writes. I wanted to do something a little different today, so I'm going to show you guys how I create this Tune Me post on my Bookstagram. You can look at it now. It is featuring the book that I'm currently reading, which is The Shadows Between Us. I'm currently in chapter 5, and I have to say I already love the book. The character is great. She is spunky, fierce, knows exactly how she's going to get what she wants, and then her interaction with the king is even all the more interesting. So I think I'm really going to like this book, and like I said, I'm already in chapter 5, so that says a lot already. As of right now, I'm just showing you guys how I'm using the Procreate app on my iPad. If you haven't used Procreate, it does cost $10, and that's $10 for a lifetime, so after you pay the $10, you don't have to pay it anymore. But one of the things I did want to do was start using this app because I am interested in drawing digitally. And as of right now, I think that I am getting it down for the most part. There's a lot of different brushes that you can use in the library, some of which I think are great. For right now, I think I like to use the pen a little bit easier. It comes off a bit smoother than some of the other ones. If you have a brush tool that you like the best in Procreate, let me know the name of it down below and exactly the settings that you use it on. I'm always trying to figure out how to steady my lines a bit because of course they're extremely rough, but like I said, this is my first time really trying this app out. I'm trying to get it to the point where I can at least draw steady lines and then shade. So my shading is a bit rough around the edges, but as of right now, I think I want to focus on my lines for the most important piece. My lines can be a little bit rough. They're not as neat as I would like them to be, but they serve the purpose as of right now. As you can see, I'm trying to get the lines around my nose, around my eyes correct, and I'm switching off different pens and brushes just to see which works best. I don't think that there's one that I like the most out of the brushes right now because I'm still trying to figure out the different levels of what I can use. If anything, I'll try and use the stylus brush or the stencil pen. I think that one's probably the best one that I have for right now that I stick to using for this, creating this post anyway. You can see I'm trying to get the lines right around my face. It's not really coming out the way that I want to, but it's slowly getting there. I did think about just starting from scratch and just drawing myself as a cartoon, but that would be a longer and more reeling process, and because I wanted to go ahead and post this, I figured I might as well just do what I normally do growing up in art, trace and then shade. So that's what I'm starting off with. If you guys have a method that you like the best when using Procreate, let me know. Most of the time people tell me that tracing is the best if you haven't gotten all the functions and the elements down in the app. You can trace it out, color, match the color as best as you can, and then go from there. And then as you try different challenges, just pace yourself and go one step further. And I think I'm going to try that method because that probably will work best for me as of right now. I could go off of learning by watching what other people do and following things step by step, but at the same time, sometimes I just like to skip over some steps and go straight to the next thing. So if I think I have one concept down, at least for the basics, I think I'm good. Right now, I'm just going over the book itself, The Shadows Between Us. I did not get the special edition from Fairy Loot. Yes, Fairy Loot. Fairy Loot was the one who did the special edition of The Shadows Between Us. The cover that they had was purple and then the edges were purple. I just went on ahead and purchased mine from off of Amazon. I did a pre-order, so when I got this book in the mail, I also got in the character postcards, and that came in a few days after I got the book. But I do like the red a little bit better than the purple. I would say it just pops more with the sword and the black in it and the black petals. As of right now, I'm just going over and doing the book in a brighter shade of black and red. I think it looks a little bit better and really gives off the sword, makes it stand out a little bit more, makes it a tad bit more cartoonish but not too much. And then I'm going back over the letters in white. This is just so you can see the text a bit more, see exactly what it reads, and just be aware that this is for a Bookstagram post. It's not just a regular ToonMe. Okay, and with that out of the way, I think I'll go ahead and speed up this part. So now one of the things that we are getting to that I definitely know I have a problem with, and I'm gonna have to practice more, is doing the hair. My hair is extremely curly and coily, and I've looked at several YouTube videos to figure out a good method to do this. And one method was just to do swirls or spirals either in the same direction or opposite directions in separate parts of the hair, and then just take little strands by making your brush smaller and going around the edges just so it can give off that kinky kind of texture. So I'm trying this. I'm also basing my hair on black and then doing it in a lighter shade of brown, only because that's how my hair color actually is. If it's in the light, you see shades of black and brown, but then you also see shades of gray. So this is the gray that I'm picking out right now. I'm graying early, guys, but that's okay. I just say turn me into Storm. That's all I want in life. But that's about it for the hair. I'm not going to go into super detail with it, only because as of right now, I just don't want to be that elaborate with it. I think as I go further down the line and I'm going to practice more on the concepts of digital art, I'm going to try different methods of trying to do hair texture, of shading, of doing lines. So as of right now, I was debating on if I should do lines around my lips or not, but I figured I might as well go on out. It'll give it a more cartoonish feel, if anything. It looks a little bit like a coloring book, but I was like, that's fine, I'll go with that. It can be whatever it wants to be. This is my first attempt at a ToonMeChallenge anyway. So I'm just going back over some things that I might have missed, either touching up color, touching up the book, touching up the edges, the outline. I'm giving it outlines to the book to make it a little bit more cartoonish. And then after I do this, I'm actually going to try and see what else I can do. I was just thinking of things this way, but I think I got it down for the most part. I was testing out the brushes, trying to find that stabilizer function. If you guys know where it is, let me know, because I have yet to find it. I might Google it later. But if you know where or how to stabilize your lines so they can look a little bit neater, let me know. So an answer came to me later after I had initially finished this drawing and shading and everything, was to go into Google and try and find shadows. One thing I really love to do is graphic design, and so I figured why not incorporate that into my post, make it just pop a little bit more, make it a little bit different. I could draw everything freehand, but like I said, that would have taken up more time, and I'm still learning my patience level with digital art. It takes time, and those of you who do it, I really congratulate you, because my nerves were just a little bit on edge trying to figure everything out and trying to make sure I have everything where it needs to be. So this is just a little bit of a shortcut for me because I'm just used to doing it this way. So I looked up different shadow versions of hands, people, and I finally found one that I actually like, so I'm going to go ahead and download that. And then I go back to my post, and one of the things that I actually do once everything is done was go into Canva. If you guys have not used the app called Canva, then I suggest you try it out. It is quite great. I've been using Canva for about a year or so now, and as you can see, I've already placed some things in that I wanted to use. The hands, I kind of changed the transparency of it just to give it that more shadowy feel, and now I'm going through the illustrations trying to decide what I want to do to include in it, just to make that extra pop, extra thing that might say, oh wow, that's kind of cool. So that's what I'm doing right now. I typed in a couple of things. I typed in sword, I typed in warrior, and I finally found two little figures that I think will actually be good for the book. I don't know exactly if there's any fighting in this, but after the first 2 chapters or so, I'm like, the king has a sword. I'm like, well, why not? I know the girl is having the sword in her hand, but I just said, you know, the character is kind of fierce, and I'm hoping maybe she'll wield some weapon later. Like I said, I'm only in chapter 5, so I don't know that much about it, except that she has just entered into the king's court. So for those of you who were wondering about the book, yes, she does get into the king's court, and quite quickly. She is quite cunning as a character, which is what I like. You don't see that too often, which is something refreshing because it's what I wanted from out of the book Crown of Coral and Pearl. If you guys haven't seen that review yet, I'm going to post it either later on this weekend or at the beginning of the week of next week. But as of right now, I'm just trying to place in where I want these characters. I'm just placing her on top of the edge of the book, a little bit past my eyeglasses and right on the edge, and then I'm going to adjust the hand later. I also incorporated like a smoky background in the back because the King of Shadows actually has smoke figures or shadow figures that actually come from out of him. I don't even know if that's a power yet or if that's just something that he's able to do that's inherited through the royalty, but I am intrigued to find out exactly what it is. As of right now, I'm just trying to adjust everything. I did find at least 2 hand figures that I'm going to put in here. I did finish one good draft of this, but I decided to edit my picture a little bit more and then just adjust a couple of things. So let's go ahead and finish this off. And then once you guys have gotten to the end of the video, be sure to be on the lookout for something a little bit extra. Alright guys, and that is it. Here is the final product of my first ToonMeChallenge. I think it turned out pretty well. I tried to match my skin tone as well as possible, but then I also kind of did it a little bit darker and or lighter depending how you see it, and I think I shaded it nicely. Everything is covered in paint. I did do the headband, the hair, my lips are edited, and then I also did this kind of paper shred down the middle just because to emphasize on the book, of course. And then of course I have the figures, as you see, fighting off the shadows. I think the post turned out great. You guys can let me know in your comments once you get to my page at MerakiVWrites to let me know how you think of the post, how I did on creating this video. These two will be in one singular post, so I have the picture first and then the video after if you swipe. And after this, I am also going to be posting my March and April giveaway. I did not unfortunately have a giveaway for March because of everything happening with the coronavirus and adjusting with work, so I have decided to do a huge giveaway. Well, not huge, but big. And if you guys are bookstagrammers like me or just love book stuff, go ahead and check it out and feel free to participate in it and let me know what you guys think of the book giveaways. I'll at least do 2 more for this year, and then I'll probably pick up more book giveaways down when fall hits. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed.